So how is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and this video is pretty much just going to be kind of a run-the-mill, just talking about a review of everything we saw in the beta. If you want something more detailed, I will be breaking down my review of every single map, the weapons, the whole shooting match in later videos, but this is going to be more of an overall thing. So let's at least start in the good area. So I'll at least be the first to say this. I do not hate any of the maps that were shown in the beta. Do I think they're the greatest maps of all time? No. Let's put it this way. Some of the greatest maps of all time would be stuff like Shipment, Hijacked, Nuketown, stuff that you could play pretty much on a 24/7 loop without ever getting tired because of the controlled chaos. Hell, I would argue the map you're seeing right now, Las Almas, is probably something I could play 24/7, but I don't think they'd be crazy enough to actually hand it to us, given just the chaotic nature of it. So another thing that did make me smile was that they finally listened to people when we have been begging and pleading for the past couple of games. Actually, not even a couple of games. We've been begging for years when they removed dolphin diving. Hey, give it to us back. We don't just want to slide all the time. And they finally listened. Being able to press the crouch button while sprinting to slide and then hold it to dolphin dive has been a fucking beautiful thing. There is nothing more fun than playing domination where you dolphin dive on that first objective just like in the old days and just smiling a little bit. Speaking of sliding, having it that slide canceling was removed, and given there have been assholes who honestly added a goddamn Konami code level bullshit in order to try and recreate that same slide canceling vibe, I'm glad that it really didn't take all that well, and that people have instead actually been playing, I don't know, for the most part, most of the games I've been playing are somewhat aggressive. Now, the new modes, now I'll be perfectly honest, I suck at modes where there's no respawn. Why? Because I choke. I choke on a regular basis. Search and destroy is something I usually steer away from. However, I did not hate Prisoner Rescue. I did not hate any of the other newer modes that were introduced. Yeah, sure, I love playing Hardpoint, Ground War, Team Death, as well as Domination, but playing some of the newer modes, I actually enjoyed myself. Now, I enjoy the perk balance, but there'll be a con to that in a little while. I also do like the spectator cam, however, I kind of wish you could toggle between the head cam and being the traditional way. I also love that the pistols are actually somewhat viable in this game, because in the past, let's face it, yeah, pistols are somewhat okay, but they've been kind of sideswiped, kind of useless. Another thing that does make me smile is that for the first time in a long time, you're actually able to swim. Do you know how much that fucking killed me on the original Warzone? That you had this whole water area you couldn't swim in, or the fact that on Caldera you couldn't swim? Now, with that being said, I mean, the graphics are beautiful, the sounds are nice, but let's dive into some of the cons. So, let's start off with some of the big ones. Let's start off with the minimap. You know, that thing you can see in the upper left corner. The fact that you can't pick off where someone's shooting from, that you have to go based off of sound. Now, some people are saying, well, this promotes the casual players. Not really. This promotes someone having to actually have a decent headset and being able to listen to where someone is. It means that rather than looking at the minimap to go, okay, someone's there, I'm going to have to be careful with that, and you can choose to engage or to flank around. This also makes the Decoy Grenade borderline fucking useless. Why? Because originally, and I've seen people do this before, whether it be Warzone, Modern Warfare 2019, or previous CODs that had the Decoy Grenade, people would throw the Decoy Grenade into a random area, go to a completely different spot, and set that as a trap, whether it be leaving a claymore on the ground, a bouncing Betty, you name it, and it would be a trap. Now all it does is just generate the sound, and is borderline useless to other players. Now, the fact that you can't vote for a map does drive me nuts, but let's put it this way. It's Infinity Ward. 9 times out of 10, they don't really let you vote for the map. They kind of say, here's your map, have fun. If you don't like it, back out. Another thing I'm not really fond of is the footstep audio. It could be a little bit more quiet. Why? Because little Timmy camping in a corner with a shotgun is going to pre-fire you the second you come around the corner. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get players who decide instead of camping in a corner are actually going to strafe around and get the jump on you. Because let's face it this way, it's not bad to be able to hear footsteps. It's bad when you can hear them down the hallway so fucking loud that you know for a fact when someone's coming around the corner. But with that being said, that doesn't stop players from changing their audio settings so that they can hear the footsteps. Now, something I'm very, very adamant on is the fact that you can't tell friend from foe. What do I mean by this? You don't have name tags on any of the enemies. I mean, look at this. I had no idea those were friendlies or enemies until I started shooting them and it said, oh look, plus, 100. I had to play the guessing game. What was worse is that with some people, the name tag of my friend behind the wall would pop up in front of my enemy. So I wouldn't be able to pick off who's friend, who's foe, nada. I'm pretty much up shit creek without a paddle. Now, you also have it that dead silence got nerfed. Now, what are my thoughts on that? I'm somewhere in the middle. Do I feel like people should rely on dead silence, so I think it should be a perk? I feel like dead silence should actually be one of the ultimate perks. Like, you should have to decide, do I want to not be seen on the minimap, or do I want my footsteps to be almost silent? But having it as a field upgrade where you push a button and everyone can hear you push that button, and then you're still not dead silent exactly, it kind of just defeats the purpose of having it in the first place. Now, another thing that drove me nuts, and this happens every time you watch me die, is the fact that every time you respawn in, you have to wait for it to pretty much pull up the map from a distance, zoom all the way back into a spawn point, and then start. That is time well wasted where you were unable to go back into the match. This can make or break a match if you're playing. Instead of being able to skip the death cam and go right back into the match, now you're having to wait those extra few seconds where your team needs you, but you have to wait. Honestly, just get rid of it. No one wants it. No one needs it. It wasn't wanted in Vanguard, and we sure as hell don't want it now. Now, something else that drove me nuts was the flashes and the stunts. Holy fucking shit. Did I get driven nuts by the fact that every time someone would stun me, I swear to God I was staring at the sun. And to be perfectly honest, as a lifeguard for a couple of years, I think I was better off staring at the fucking sun. Because at least then I'd have an excuse. This, I'm glad I didn't play with the lights off. Someone would have assumed I was shining a fucking flashlight in my eyes. Honestly, just fix that aspect because it's brighter than my fucking future. Now, another thing, and this, we've seen this meme popping up here, there, and everywhere. Back in Modern Warfare 3, the phrase, "fuck last stand," came out. And what did you guys do? You brought back last stand. Now, while this is great for respawn modes, it is hilarious to honestly knock someone flat on their ass when they're trying to use this perk. But it drives people nuts that after they kill someone, now they gotta look, oh look, they're down on the ground, and they have to kill them. Now, my last few things aren't that important. There's also something that I'm going to focus on in its own video in regards to the Vault Edition that I have a gripe with, but that deserves its own video. But in the comment section down below, I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think was good about the beta? What did you not like about the beta? And overall, I want to hear about your experiences because, to be honest, it wasn't bad. But I begin to worry that if that's the time to kill for core, the fuck are you going to do for hardcore? Am I going to be able to throw a grenade at someone's head and if it impacts their head, they die? And if so, that's fucking hilarious. So if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button to pretty much keep up to date on all things Call of Duty. I will be uploading videos pretty much detailing my thoughts on each of the maps, as well as various things. And everyone out there, you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And the countdown of suffering through trying to figure out what to play until Modern Warfare 2 begins. And this is Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to click that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers. What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.